Coming up, everyone has a story, and tonight we have a very special show for you. Our guest went from leaving home at 14 to falling into gangs and drugs before hitting rock bottom when he was held at gunpoint and almost lost his life. Miraculously, he turned his life around when he discovered the power of faith, and today he stands on the stage and even presents this show. Stay tuned, you're sure to be surprised.
Hi, and good evening to one more episode of our program Finding Answers. Tonight, this episode would be very special. Why is that? Because you who are watching this program, Finding Answers, you who are accompanying us every night, you know that in this program we have live guests talking about many problems, what they've been through in their life and how they overcame their situation. Tonight is special. Yes, we're going to have a live guest, but our live guest tonight is a pastor. Yes, he is a pastor. Maybe when you think about a pastor, you will think that they have been chosen by God since birth, so everything should be fine in their life. But you would be surprised. There will be revelations tonight that you never knew in the life of a servant of God, a man of God. In fact, in our testimonies here in Finding Answers, we are always showing you, a story, a true life story, something that when you watch, you would say, how could it be possible? How could that person change their life? It is possible through faith. And this is why I would like all of you to pay attention, because tonight will be very special. We're going to have testimonies, we're going to have prayer, and we're going to speak to our live guest, and we're going to see how his life changed. But for the meantime, I would like you to watch this testimony. And when we come back, we are going to show you, to reveal to you what happened in the life of this right now, a servant of God.
I was introduced to drugs, selling drugs, taking drugs at a young age of around 15, 16. I started selling cocaine, heroin, crack. But even so, it gave me an addiction to having sex with girls, just using them. I was involved in many stabbings, many fights. I was arrested many times, put in a cell, spent many nights, hours there, but I never changed. This life that I was involved in was a life that I knew if I didn't change, I would die. An incident which happened was I was shot and I died there twice, and I thought that it was impossible for me to change. When I heard about God has love for me, He cares for me, He wants to change my life and everything, I decided to accept His word, and I realized that nothing was impossible for this God that I'm serving today. So that life that I had, that I was dreaming of, that I could be someone better, I could be, happy, not having to look over my back, not having to feel that pain of a knife going through me or a bullet. Today, I'm happy, I'm studying, I'm successful in my coursework and everything. I'm working, my family is coming together. Everything is going well for me. And I've overcome the gangs, I've overcome the sex, the drugs, the illegal weapons. And I'm like an example for many other young guys, those that were involved in that and they think that they can't break free. I'm that example to show that, look, it's possible.
Welcome back to our program Finding Answers, and you just heard a testimony of someone who changed their life by learning how to use their faith. Now, you who are watching us, you have this, let's say, help available for you as well. Tonight, I have here Rachel. How are you, Rachel?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Very Rachel, I would like our viewers to know that they can contact us. I mean, there are so many ways for them to contact us, right? How can they do this?
There are so many ways you can contact us, it's true. You can phone us. If you want to phone one of our helpline advisors, just call 0207 686 6300. The number should be on the bottom of your screen right now. You could also email us, and if you want want to direct this email to a specific pastor or presenter, please do, and they will email you directly back. And if you want to email, the address is help@findinganswers.tv. You can also get in touch with us through social media. So remember to like us, to follow us. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram if you look up Finding Answers. You can also find all of the old shows of Finding Answers on YouTube if you search Finding Answers.
And this is important, my friend, for you who wants to hear more testimonies. Rachel, we are introducing, our social network because people can subscribe, isn't it? They can comment as well. You who are watching us, I do believe, I don't know, maybe even questions. If you have any questions, any thing that you would like to ask any of our advisors, you can do this. All you need to do is call us. The number has been given to you. You can check our social networks. You can be in touch with us because through these programs, it will help you. Rachel, our program tonight will be very special. You are with us in every program.
It's a very special episode. I think it's actually easy to forget that anyone can go through these issues. I mean, we often think it, even with our own parents sometimes, we see them in this one role, we see them as a parent and we think this is how they should act or how they've always been from birth. So it's easy, especially because we are looking at a pastor tonight and a presenter, to see that absolutely anyone can go through and can overcome difficulties in life. And what I'm interested in is, why do people get to this stage? How do people fall into these kind of wrong crowds, like we're going to see later on with our guests tonight, who you are all going to recognise? I think one of the reasons that people end up falling into these wrong crowds is because they feel that they don't belong in society. So they feel that they've been pushed out or rejected. Often society doesn't help this. I mean, we have a huge problem in the UK here with council flats being built in the middle of nowhere, so that the people who are forced out of their houses into these council flats are actually surrounded not by things which can stimulate their mind or can give them kind of something to do, but actually with a space where it just breeds boredom and it breeds crime, and then it's very easy to fall into these things and it's very difficult to escape. So tonight we are going to look at ways in which we can escape from these things. I don't know, you might have come across quite a lot of people dealing with these issues in your work as well, Pastor Christian.
No, of course, and it's true when you say that people sometimes forget. When you watch and you see the presenter, you see the pastors, you don't know, our background. I think one of these days I should be guest as well, isn't it?
Yeah, this could become a weekly feature, and I mean, you never know.
Yeah, because my friend, we have our stories. We are not here talking to you because this is something we learned, or something that we something nice, a good thing to say. So we tell you. No. What we tell you is something that we experience, something that you would be surprised. I do believe this episode tonight will surprise many of you. And that is why I want you to pay attention. I want you to really focus in our program, in our episode, because when we speak to our guest, my friend, it is going to open your eyes. It's going to help you in a very big way. All right? Let us go to our live guest right now.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Hi, welcome back to our program, Finding Answers, and I would like to introduce to you to our live guest for this evening. And tonight's guest is Pastor Douglas. How are you, Pastor Douglas?
I'm very well, thank you.
Pastor Douglas, this episode is special because you will be sharing with everyone your life before you became a pastor. Now, you are helping many people. Now you are also one of the presenters of this program, helping, giving counseling to people. But the thing is, your life before was completely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
How can you describe your life before?
Okay. I grew up with my mom and dad. Things were fine. But the thing is, they were together, but they didn't love each other. And growing up and watched that case scenario where they were faking and living by appearance really made me have a different kind of mindset towards life. And I think that having said that, all that case scenario made me become a very emotional child. I was extremely emotional. Obviously, we all know that children are emotional per se, but I wasn't just emotional, I was extremely emotional.
My goodness. And you were the only child, or how was it?
Yes. I was the only child until I was 6, and then my mom became pregnant, and then my sister was born.
My goodness. My goodness. Can you see, just as you are hearing him right now, you can already have an idea of, you know, the issues that he had in his life. And we are going to continue with your story, Pastor Douglas. But first, I would like all of you to pay attention to this testimony of another person, all right, that changed their life when they used their faith. And after this, when we come back, we're going to go deeper into this story, because I would like to know. I'm very intrigued with this story. I would like to know what happened, all right? So, people, stay tuned. Watch this testimony.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
There were several bad moments. I used to attack my husband. He hit me and then I retaliated. Since then, every time he got angry, I got even angrier. I attacked him with a knife, baseball bat, alcohol bottle, anything that came to hand. We were both alcoholics, but he wouldn't admit it and I didn't recognize it. And also when I was told at the hospital that my blood problem was incurable, that's the one that got me down. It dawned on me that it wasn't helping the children, so I left. I left my husband. My mother's side of the family, my family, they were alcoholics. They drank a lot, every day. Well, coming from an alcoholic family, it seemed normal. So when I started drinking, it didn't seem abnormal. Then I got involved with an alcoholic man, and it just grew from there. It didn't seem abnormal. I didn't realize there was something wrong. It's just that I just couldn't give up. I'd try. I'd stop drinking for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month, but then I'll go back. There was something inside of me that would make me go back. Well, I did try to get help. I saw a psychiatrist because I had problems in my mind, and I spent money, thousands of pounds, getting help from people like tarot card readers and other people who would charge you £1,000 at a time to help, but nothing helped. My leg swelled up and it was very painful. I couldn't walk. Then I went to my GP, and my GP sent me to the hospital straight away. When I got there, they did an X-ray and found out that I had blood clots in my leg, and it was dangerous. I just wanted to stop drinking. They didn't connect alcohol with this problem I had, so they couldn't find out why, even though I had several tests, they couldn't find out why I had this problem. And I was very young at the time. It was an elderly person's problem. Well, my son invited me to come to a help center. And when I came, things just started happening. It didn't all the problems I have didn't go away at once, but bit by bit, one by one, all the problems I came with started leaving. It took about 6 weeks. I used to come to the help center and then go to the pub. And then it was brought to my attention that that was wrong, so I stopped. I've never gone back, and that's 20 years ago. Well, it depends on the person. If the person wants help, and if they're coming to the help center, it means that they need help and they want help. So yes, it can happen to anyone. You have to use your faith. And faith that I found, it's doing what you're supposed to do. Yes, exercising your faith means to do what you're supposed to do, what you need to do to change things. Well, I came to the help center and they taught me what I needed to do so that God could help me. I followed the instructions they gave, and it really did help me. I no longer have an alcohol problem. I'm no longer aggressive. Deep inside, I'm happy, truly happy. The smile on my face comes from really being happy on the inside. I have a very good relationship with my son and my family. And my health is good also.
Welcome back. And once again, I am here with Pastor Douglas. Pastor Douglas, you told us that your problem before started when you were very young. It started inside your house with your parents. You saw them having a marital problem and it affected you so much, right? Can you please continue? What happened?
Yes, when you grow up in a family, you know, your parents are your role models. And when you look to your parents, they are the most important people in your life. And you see your parents as role models. You see them as people whom you look up to as a reference. And that wasn't the case, because my dad was always having problems with his finances. My mom would spend more time at work than home. She used to work double shifts. Actually, my mom was the breadwinner of the house.
Wow.
And my father was there inside. And everything was wrong. And then I started going to school. And at school, I started noticing that I wasn't a normal child. There was something wrong with me.
How come?
A lot of bullying.
Okay.
Somehow, you know, the other children around me in my environment would always pick something, and they would start bullying me and calling me, you know, by names. A lot of fights, and then obviously all these started escalating to a point where my grades at school weren't good either. From time to time, my mum was called to talk with the principal about my behavior. And then it was getting from bad to worse.
Right.
And then when I got to my teens, then my behavior was terrible.
Okay.
I started having fights at school. I started looking for romantic relationships. And every single relationship I got involved to, I had a heartbreak. They were very much heartbreaking relationships. And things at home were getting, from, like I said, from bad to worse, until my mom and dad lost the respect towards each other. There was no more respect in the family. And then my dad simply started cheating on my mom and walked away. And they simply got divorced.
That is very bad, and it affected you so much, isn't it? Because it has been happening for many years. You practically grew up with this problem. See, in school, you would be bullied as well, and that's a problem because many times, you know, students doesn't really know, you know, the problem of, you know, the situation of their classmates, and bullying doesn't help at all. So it created in you a different character, right? When you were in your teenage years, what was, let's say, is there anything that you did in order to fill in this emptiness? Because you would feel that. You would not receive the love in your house. You would see bad examples, right? So did you do anything trying to, you know, to forget about the problem? I don't know.
Yes, then there was a point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. Then I went to my mom. I was 14 years old of age, and I said to my mom, look, I want to move. If you let me, I don't want to stay with you any longer, but I want to move and stay with some relatives of mine.
14 years old?
14 years old. And then she said, okay, fair enough. She gave me the money, I bought the bus ticket. It was a 3-day journey from one place to the other. And then I came with that false sense of hope that life was going to be better.
It's because like you are starting again.
Yeah, new city, new people, new environment, new friends, new school, new college. Then you got that wrong idea that, wow, now my life will be great and my future will be prominent. But it was a disaster.
Why is that? Because now everything should be fresh. I mean, everything is new. New place, like you said, new people around you. Why is it even worse than before? What happened there?
The thing is, Christian, you say, when you have a problem inside and you move around, that problem will always follow you.
True.
It's like, you know, it's like this shirt here. Unless I take it out, wherever I go, I will carry it with me. And so are problems that are unresolved, unfinished business. If you don't deal with your matter, you can move to any other part of the world, the problem will still persist, and that's what happened to me. And then, because of that sense of emptiness and void, then I was introduced to friends, and friends introduced me to drugs.
Drugs. How old were you there? 14?
15.
15 now, okay.
Illegal drugs. Then I started, you know, being a drug abuser. I started, well, initially I started smoking fags. I used to smoke like every now and then. And I would tell myself, no, I'm not an addict. I'm not an addict. I just smoke it, but whenever I want to quit, I'll quit it.
Anytime.
But it takes more than free will or good intention to quit an addiction. And then I got addicted to it. And then from cigarettes, I went to cannabis. I started smoking cannabis, again, every other week, but then it became a daily habit. And then from cannabis, then I started taking heavier drugs, cocaine, crack, and then my world really started to collapse.
You know, Pastor Douglas, I never really got involved, I myself never got involved with drugs. So I have no idea how it is, but I hear people who get involved with drugs that it affects the way they think. Is this true or not?
Absolutely true.
How is that?
Because when you are a drug abuser, you are no longer yourself. You lose your identity. Because when you take drugs, any kind of drugs, there is a myth out there. People normally tend to say, oh no, you know, if you take heavier drugs such as heroin, cocaine, crack, that will affect you. But you know, if you go and smoke a spliff, what is the matter? Yes, but then when you smoke one spliff after the other, that will start affecting your memory,
the way you think,
your performance.
Right.
You know, it's like you slow down, you become more complacent, you are no longer, you can't think on your feet,
right?
If that makes sense. And that's what happened to me. And then one day I remember I was smoking a lot of drugs, and I smoked so much that I had an overdose. And then I had the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. I OD'd 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah.
My goodness. You had no control with yourself anymore, ne?
I was a severe addict. I would smoke a lot of drugs.
And you said to yourself that, I can quit anytime. That's what you told yourself, isn't it?
And I even tried to quit. I did try, by the strength of my arm, figure of speech. But, you know, once you are hooked on a substance, such as drugs, it's very difficult to quit because your body gets used to it.
Your brain as well.
Your mind, your brain, it's like, you know, it's like food. Unless you have it, you won't survive.
The craving is there, isn't it?
The craving's there. From the moment you wake up,
wow,
till the moment you go to sleep, when you sleep.
Yeah, when you sleep. They said that when people use drugs, actually, because there's this chemical in the drugs called THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. This substance is what makes people, you know, have hallucination and things like this. Would you have this as well?
Many times. Many times I used to have a lot of hallucinations, especially during the night when I was out there on the streets. And, you know, my life was just getting from bad to worse. And imagine, and my mom came back. Now it was just me, my mom, my sister. My mom knew I was an addict, but she couldn't do anything to help me. At the opposite, we would have arguments, fights, one argument after the other, and it escalated to the worst moment of my life, which I'll tell you later.
My goodness. My friend, I don't even want to add anything because this story is really strong. You're watching us, telling us maybe, well, how could it be possible, eh? You see, problems in the family, problems with addiction, many issues. So we are gonna go back to you after this break, but pay attention. Now you are going to hear the worst part of his life and also how he was able to manage to overcome them. Because now you can see him as a different person, right? How was he able to overcome them? We will tell you after this break.
Follow my channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Welcome back, my friends, and what a story. We are talking, you who are maybe just watching, you started watching now. We're talking here with one of our presenters, and he was sharing with us the kind of life he used to have before he learned how to live by faith. He was saying he had family problem, and this family problem led to another problem. He was telling us earlier about his addiction, 4 times overdose. Yeah, 4 times overdose because of using drugs. So, Pastor Douglas, you said that this is not even, you know, the entire story. There was the worst moment of your life, right? Please tell us, what is it?
Well, when you get involved with drugs, obviously you get involved with other criminal activities, such as robbery, theft, shoplifting. At the time, I wasn't working, so obviously I needed to do something to support my addictive behavior. So I started getting involved in very, very bad activities. And you know, this is a very dangerous road you take to. And many people, when they choose to live a criminal life, there is no turning back.
Right.
It's very hard to reintegrate yourself back to society because I was lost. So, but the worst moment of my life was when I went somewhere and I had a fight with a guy. And this guy had murdered many people. I'll say it again. He didn't just beat, he murdered.
Wow.
Yeah, cold blood murder. He killed many people, including, he killed 2 of my friends. And then he pointed a gun at me and said, "Don't go anywhere, because if you go, I'll shoot you at your back." Then obviously I froze. And then I said, "What are you going to do with me?" He said, "Walk." Pointing the gun at me. I was at the gunpoint. He said, "Walk." And he said like this, he started praying. "Because you're gonna die, I'm going to kill you." And then I was talking to him, "Please, please have mercy. I don't want to die now." I was just 17.
Wow.
"Please, I've got a life ahead of me." And you know, and the guy was obviously under the effect of heavier drugs. He had killed many people, so I was just one more that would be on his list. Anyway, he took me to a place, brought all his friends, and they started beating me. But then I remember, when they started beating me, I said to God, I didn't have any religion, I wasn't a churchgoer, but that was an experience with faith. I said, "God, if you exist, let me get out of here alive. And if I come out of here alive, I'll try to fix my life." And then they started beating me. One lady out of nowhere started shouting, "Please leave him alone." One lady, what could a lady do to a bunch of guys? But anyway, somehow they listened to her and they left me alone, and then I walked freely. Obviously I had some bruises, but I was fine, conscious. And then I didn't keep my promise. I still kept on smoking drugs, and you see how merciful God is, isn't it? But deep inside, he knew.
He showed you a sign. He showed you a sign that he exists.
He did.
Huh? Maybe that lady came from heaven.
But I was very naughty, huh? Anyway, so, and then that's how bad my life was. And then one day I woke up and I started rationalizing, and then I made a decision. I said, "You know what? I've got to do something with my life. Because unless I do something and I take my life to a different path, I won't last." I haven't got, it's like a terminally ill patient. You know, people who've got cancer, they're told by the doctors, "Listen, you've got only a few weeks to live." I felt exactly the same. I felt like I only had a few weeks to live. And that's when someone took me to a place where I learned how faith could help me.
Right.
This place of worship, which was a non-religious place, which helped you rationalize, make good decisions about your future. And one thing that really, stuck to me, that I learned in this place, is that life is made of decisions.
Right.
What you plant, you will reap. And here I am today.
So you made a decision there that you want to change your life because you knew something was wrong, isn't it? You were 17 years old. When the guy came, threatening you, you knew that it's not your time to die because you believe that there's a future for you, isn't it? But it's like something is blocking you. But when you went to this place of worship, you learned how to use your faith. What is the thing that caught your attention in this place?
You should always put your head above your heart. Don't let your emotions rule over you. Because that was my main problem. Remember, from the beginning of the segment of my story, I told you that I was very, very inclined to emotions.
Because of what happened in the past, because of the family. So you listen too much to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah. And our emotions are very tricky. They lie to us all the time. I mean, for instance, how many people who, love at first sight?
Yeah,
is it how they call it?
Yes.
You look at someone, oh, I love you, you're so handsome. Let's just start a relationship. And then I barely know you. And then after 2-3 years together, what a big disappointment. Wow, I didn't know you were you're going to hit me. You were a drug abuser. You were womanizing with other women. But why? Because I didn't bother to use my head to get to know who you were first. I simply let my emotions...
What you feel.
Yeah, take over. And that's what I learned when I made the decision to stop living by my emotions and use my head instead. Life is sweet now.
You start making right decisions, right?
Yeah.
I would like to know, because you said that you had this problem of the addiction. How did it happen? Did it stop immediately? Or because maybe the people who are watching us, they may say, so you just go to the place and then magically this thing disappear. In your case, how does it work?
I needed to go through a treatment.
Right.
Okay. A spiritual treatment. And it took me to be completely clean, to get clean, completely clean. It took me about a few weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks. And I've been clean since 1998.
Wow.
How long?
What?
Nearly 19 years, isn't it?
19 years.
Yeah,
true.
next year will be 20 years that I've been clean, completely clean.
Okay.
No relapses, nothing, no.
I was going to ask about this because some people, when they say that they're free from addiction, sometimes,
they relapse, so they haven't been free at all.
And what about the problem that you had emotionally? Because like we were saying, this is the root of everything, right? Did it change as well?
Yes, of course. We all have emotions, don't we, inside of us. Emotions are not a bad thing, as long as you know how to control them. The problem is when they get out of hand. And that was my problem, not knowing how to control my bad emotions,
right.
Which now they are under control.
Yes.
Because now you see that void, that emptiness that I would feel inside. I don't feel empty anymore.
Right.
Something lives inside of me, which was a replacement for the drug abuse, which obviously makes me now be relaxed, at peace, at ease. So I no longer feel the need to take drugs
Right.
or let my emotions take over.
What about the situation with your family? Because when that happened, you said that you don't really see a good example there in your house. So I would assume, I don't know, I can be wrong, I would assume that you had this bad feeling towards your father.
Yeah.
What about in this aspect?
Completely different. Now, me and my mom, we get along very, very well. Actually, it's so important to talk about this because years ago, my mom would look at me as a lost case.
Yeah.
Now, my mom, when she calls me, because obviously she lives abroad, she says to me, "Oh, my son, I admire your marriage so much. I look at your marriage as a role model to because she recently got married."
Oh, okay.
She's in her 60s now. And she recently got married, and she keeps telling her husband, "You see, I want you to be, to me, what my son is to his wife." So it's so nice to see that you can be a reference
That
even
is
to your
something.
parents
Yes.
who are older than you. And today, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I celebrated my 13th wedding anniversary. Very happy, love my wife, love what I do, which is to help people.
Right.
Love being a presenter and finding answers.
My friend, what a story.
Yeah.
Pastor Douglas, I would like to thank you for this amazing, amazing testimony. My friend, listen, you are watching, you are the viewers right now. As you can see, the presenters, we have our story. Pastor Douglas shared with you his story. And as you can see, it's not easy. But you know, this is one thing, Pastor Douglas, that I say when we have this program. What we tell people is something practical. We are not passing to them information, right? We're not passing to them religion. This is not what you learned when you when you came to the center, to the Christian center. You didn't learn religion. You learned how to use your intelligence, your faith with intelligence. And if you, my friend, want to see a change in your life, this is what you need to use, not your heart. Do not follow your heart. You need to lead your heart. And the problem is, if you allow your heart to speak, you know, it will complicate things. Now, Pastor Douglas is blessed, happily married, as he said, helping other people. And my friend, the changes in his life is a proof that faith has the power to change anything if we believe. So, I would like to show you something. This is a segment we call It Is Possible. Okay, it's another testimony. Rachel went to, to talk to some people who, through their faith, they changed their situation. Listen to this story, and then after that, we will return.
Hi, and welcome to another Through Faith, It's Possible. And in this section, we like to show you at home how you can turn the impossible into the possible. So I'm here with Jasmine today, who's going to tell her story on her journey through faith. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello, Rachel.
How are you today?
I'm really good, and you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. But this wasn't always the case, was it?
No, it wasn't. Before I found faith, I lived in a house where it was really a war zone. So it was very much like my parents, they were against each other, but they lived in the same house. It was like they were together, but they never wanted to be. And so it was constant verbal and physical fights. And it really took a toll on me and my sister. We learnt the wrong kind of behaviour. So for me, I learnt to close up and stay in my room and just read. I would try and pretend that I was someone else in my head, even though my whole family was collapsing around me. And with my sister, she learnt to be the kind of person who would drink, party, smoke, you name it. And I tried really changing my family because I thought, no, I can do this, I can change them alone. But it didn't work. And I tried everything and I didn't see it getting better, and it was getting worse day by day, and the arguments were getting stronger, and I couldn't see a way out.
Yeah, so it's really difficult, especially when the problem isn't maybe with yourself that you can fix, but it's those around you, so it's things that you can't even fix, isn't it? Mm. Yeah, so what happened? Where was the turning point?
Then a friend invited me to a place of faith, and it really transformed everything. In this place I learned, okay, if you change first and you use your faith, things can be totally different. So I started applying everything that they were teaching me to sacrifice, to go out of my way, to be the one who changed and to see my family in the way that I wanted them to be, instead of trying to expect them to change overnight. And when I really applied everything I was learning through faith, everything was changing. And the thing is, it didn't change overnight, but when it did change, it changed phenomenally. Now my family, we're close, we're happy, and for the first time my family is able to sit down around a table and eat together and joke and laugh like a real family.
Yeah, this is a huge transformation. It actually reminds me of a quote which is, be the change you want to see in the world. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, well, if you at home, maybe you're going through a difficult time, maybe there are a lot of problems in your family and you don't know how to fix them or who to turn to, please do get in touch with one of our advisors. They're here 24 hours a day. You can call at any point, and the number is 0207 686 6300. Well, thank you so much for telling your story today, Jasmine. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of people at home as well. So for now, we're going to go back to the studio.
Where DKW a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter at My Channel UK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story, and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
Okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on My Channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Before we would make a prayer for all of you, I will even ask Pastor Douglas to make this prayer because as you heard from his story, his life changed, but changed dramatically. Now, he's able to help people who used to be in his, it was his situation before, right? He has this morale to tell you that it is possible to change. It is possible to transform your life. So, but before we make this prayer, I would like to call your attention because maybe you are watching and you are wondering how you can start. You want to change the situation. You want to solve the problem. But where would you start? Where is the starting point? The starting point is this: we need to be humble and ask for help. If you do not ask for help, if you keep, your problems inside, it will not be solved. Sometimes, Pastor Douglas, there are people who they think that problems, will just disappear by time. Do you think that's the case?
That is untrue and unrealistic. That's not what we see actually happening. Problems will only go when we do something about them.
Because like in your case, you moved from one place to another and problem followed you. Because actually it didn't follow you, it was inside, isn't it? It's not the place that changed your life. So sometimes we think, okay, let me go to another country because I'm gonna start everything new. But if you're inside, if inside is spiritually, when we say inside, it's spiritually, right? If in your spirit there is this sickness, there is this, a problem, wherever you may be, you can be in the best place, the problem will persist, the problem will catch you. That's why I said the starting point to change our life is be humble, ask for help. In fact, we have advisors ready to, receive your call right now. You can even call us in our helpline, okay? You can call us. It's there in your screen right now. The number, it's 020-7686-6300. You can call now because there will be advisors to listen to you. And if you need prayer, they will even pray for you, okay? But right now, Pastor Douglas, I would like to make a prayer, okay? We are going to make a prayer for all of you to receive peace inside of you, for you to receive the assurance that God is with you and He's gonna change your situation. So get your glass of water ready because it's time to pray.
Oh my God, we come close to you with this simple but sincere prayer. A prayer that we say that will not have beautiful or eloquent words, because we know very well that beautiful words will not impress you. Beautiful words will not cause your hand to move in our favor, but our faith. And that's what changed my life. Faith. Faith is this certainty, this profound assurance inside of an individual's mind that God is somehow listening to him, to her. Faith is this certainty that in spite of the circumstances, everything will be all right. Things will work for the better. Things will change. Doors will open. The sick will recover. The poor will prosper. The lost will be found. This is what faith leads us to believe. And now, Lord, these viewers who are now together with us in one spirit, in one accord, in one mind, they are together with me praying, holding their glass of water or a bottle of water, or even if this viewer didn't have the faith to get the water, but they had the faith to receive this prayer, to at least keep their eyes closed until the very end of this prayer. Oh God, consider and regard this faith of this viewer and respond, answer, help, restore this family which is breaking, this family which is on the verge of a divorce, this family, this household who is falling apart, who is completely broken, my God. You've got the power to restore families, to restore marriages. You've got the power to reconcile couples together. So, through your faith, dear viewer, receive now a touch. Receive now inner peace. Be at ease. And if the Word of God is real and vivid and powerful, when you drink from this water, you will have a sweet night's sleep. You will get up tomorrow early in the morning and you will feel energized, revived, ready to overcome your problems, ready to face them and conquer them. We bless you through the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You can now take a sip of the water.
Amen. My friends, you are blessed. Like Pastor Douglas determined now, believe wherever you may be. It doesn't matter what you feel. It's about faith, all right? I believe that wherever you are, the peace of God entered you and your life is starting to change right now, okay? So if you would like to speak to one of the advisors, you can do this. If you would like to put your name in our prayer book, you can do that as well. Just call us 020-7686-6300, okay? May the Lord bless you abundantly and see you in our next episode. Bye-bye.